Life is full of precious moments, and part of cherishing those moments is planning for the future. Securing the transfer of your assets also applies to digital assets. Don't leave your valuable NFTs, digital art and crypto to chance. Use Vault 12 Guard to ensure your assets are protected and passed on according to your wishes.
Hello, my name is Wasim Ahmad. I'm with Vault 12. Today we're going to talk about inheritance for Web3. Why do we need to care about inheritance in Web3? The main reason is that in the traditional world, inheritance is relatively speaking much easier. You go to the bank or you go to the broker and you say someone has passed on or someone is incapacitated and you get access to those assets. But in the Web3 world, you yourself, as the owner of those assets, are responsible for the security and safekeeping of those assets. If you don't record all details about your assets and communicate them on to the people who are going to be the beneficiaries, then those assets are liable to get lost. Who cares about inheritance for Web3 assets? The first group is very much NFT collectors. People have an emotional attachment to NFTs. They're buying NFTs that they love, often regardless of the value. And these are assets that they fully intend to pass on to other people. The second group is creators. Now, creators have an inventory of NFTs, an inventory of art. They have royalty wallets. Every time an NFT is transferred or sold, a portion of that sale proceeds goes into that wallet. So that's a wallet that needs to be protected for the long term. And then the third category is, of course, crypto enthusiasts who have purchased cryptocurrency and want to make sure that that will get passed on. So what is the essential part of making sure that your Web3 assets can be inherited? It's making sure that you have a bang up-to-date inventory of all of your assets, that all of the mechanisms to access those assets are clear. We've all purchased NFTs and cryptocurrencies on different blockchains and which are stored in different Web3 wallets. It's not like there's going to be one thing that needs to be inherited. There's going to be multiple components. And so these need to be documented, and that list needs to be bang up to date. So what are the risks associated with backing up and inheriting assets? One of the main things, as we've described, is the inventory of assets. Well, you actually need to pass that list on. And when you look at what Web3 wallets tell you, what they tell you to do from a security perspective, they say write down the seed phrase, write down your private key, back up your private key and your seed phrase so that you have it. And often you're doing this on paper. And typically with inheritance related things, you're also writing things down on paper and giving them to your lawyers. Well, every time you write stuff down on paper, you might store it in a safe or you might store it in a safe place. But the minute that you hand it over to a law firm, a lawyer, or a set of people, you're exposing that information to other people. And so that is potentially an unacceptable risk because we're talking about, hopefully, a long, long time before anyone's going to need those credentials. The second risk is that many people have used technology like hardware wallets and other types of cold storage device to store their seed phrases and their private keys. This is the access to their Web3 wallets. Just storing assets on a hardware wallet does not mean that everything is set up for inheritance in the future. It means that your assets are secure from the internet and from kind of casual exposure or hacking. But for inheritance, you do actually need to communicate what the assets are and how to access them. And so you're still going to need to back up your hardware wallets and have some kind of solution that will take that information and pass it to your beneficiary. Today I'm very excited to introduce Vault 12 Guard. This is the latest version of our technology on a mobile phone designed for ordinary people that are collectors, that are creators creating digital art and NFTs, and that are crypto enthusiasts buying cryptocurrency. The product is designed to make it as simple as possible to back up all of your Web3 assets and then assign a beneficiary who can receive those assets in the event of incapacitation or death of the owner. It's very simple to back things up. It's very simple to activate the inheritance. It's very simple for your heirs to then retrieve those assets when needed. So how does it work? Very easy. You download the app from any of the app stores, iOS, Android, install it, create a digital vault, and then you can immediately start adding assets which will be stored locally on your phone device. For full distributed, decentralized backup and inheritance, you now need to add and assign guardians. These are people that you know. They could be business partners, they could be family members, they could be friends who will guard your vault. One of those people will act as the person that you transfer the assets to on the event of your passing. Once you've designated a beneficiary, then everything's set for inheritance. You don't really need to do anything else apart from every time you add an asset, making sure that you're putting it in the vault as well as a backup. For your beneficiary, when the time comes to activate inheritance, all they need to do is make the request, the guardians approve it, and then all the assets are transferred to the beneficiary. And the beneficiary can then access those assets and then pass them on to whoever is the rightful heir as defined in your will. So key takeaways. First of all, you need to plan your T&E strategy, work with an attorney. Secondly, you need to understand the risks associated with backing up and inheriting Web3 assets. Pick a solution that works for you. We think Vault 12 Guard is an excellent solution and can do an excellent job for you. And then use it, or risk losing everything forever.